Hi class, so this week we are going to be learning about the topic of insects, and today I have chosen to read you the book about ants. Melissa Stewart is the author. Now this is a non-fiction book. Remember, non-fiction means that it is a story that is going to teach you something, and in this book Melissa Stewart is going to teach us about ants. Before we read, I want to look through this book and see if we can find some of the really cool features that you see in nonfiction text. Like right here, you can see there's a real photograph. Oftentimes you see real photographs in nonfiction books instead of someone drawing the pictures. This is the table of contents, and this is where we can look to see different places in the book that we want to learn something. Let's say I wanted to know all about what ants eat for dinner. I could go to page 24. Or maybe I just want to know about the ant's life. I could look right here on page 16. All right, so let's see. In this book, you'll notice they've got labels. That's one thing you see in nonfiction books. There are captions next to the pictures. Look, little more bits of information. And I see a lot of real photographs in this book as well. Sometimes you'll see some other features like graphs, but I don't see any of those in this book. All right, let's get started reading. I'm going to go back to the very beginning and we're going to read the book Ants. Ants by Melissa Stewart. Do you know how many ants live in the world? More than 10 quadrillion. That's a lot of ants. Ants live in fields and forests. They live under sidewalks too. Ants are everywhere. An ant is an active insect. Its tiny waist helps to bend and wiggle through tunnels. Its 6 strong legs creep and crawl. Did you hear that? Insects have 6 legs, and an ant is an insect, so it has 6 legs as well. Its 2 large eyes see the world. Its super tough jaws munch and crunch, and its long feelers touch and tap. This is a wood ant. Ants at home. 1 ant, 2 ants, 3 ants, 4. See 1 ant, and you'll see lots more. Ants live in large groups. A group of ants is called a colony, and it tells us a colony is a group of ants that lives together, and some colonies have millions of ants. And over here the caption lets me know that this is an army ant colony. All of these are ants. There's so many, they're just piled right up on top of each other. An ant colony lives in a nest. Most ants build nests underground. An ant nest is full of tunnels. Each tunnel leads to a little room. So this is a bulldog ant inside a tunnel. And right here they have an illustration of what this might look like. So here's the ground. It's the underground ant nest, and they can come through the tunnel, and each tunnel leads to a room. Right, all these different rooms. Some ants do not live underground. They live inside hollow thorns, between rocks and rotting trees, and nests made by leaves. This is the Ant-Man. Brian Fisher is a scientist. He looks for new kinds of ants. Some people call him the Ant-Man. Dr. Fisher has found more than 800 new kinds of ants. He can't wait to find even more. Okay, I've got a joke for you. Where do ants go to eat? A restaurant. An ant's life. The queen, which you can see the queen right here, is the biggest ant in the colony. She lays eggs all day long. When the eggs hatch, little larvae wiggle out. They look like worms. They eat and eat and eat. Larvae turn into a pupae. Pupae do not move. Pupae do not eat. After a few weeks, they turn into adult ants. So right here is an ant taking care of a pupae. And all these little circles right there are the eggs. It tells us that Larvae are the second stage of the life of many insects. Larvae spend most of their time eating and growing. And then pupae is the third stage in the life of many insects. Some ant pupae are surrounded by a cocoon. Oh. What other insect can you think of that has something like a cocoon? We called it a chrysalis. Butterflies, right? Worker ants. Most of the ants in a colony are workers. All worker ants are female. Inside the nest. Some worker ants dig new tunnels. Others take care of eggs, larvae, and pupae. Outside the nest. Some worker ants collect food. Others guard the nest. Ants with wings. This is a garden ant, and these are winged carpenter ants. A few ants in the colony have wings. Some are females. Some are males. Ants with wings fly out of the nest. They start new colonies. Superhero ants. We have aqua ant. Aqua ant lives in Australia. She can swim, dive, and even live underwater. Mama Marvel. Mama Marvel is an African driver ant. She lays 50 million eggs a year. Hulking Hercules. Hulking Hercules is a bulldog ant. She can lift more than 20 times her body weight. The Big Biter. The Big Biter is a trapjaw ant. She has the fastest bite in the animal world. Biter can snap her jaw shut at a speed of 145 miles an hour. What's for dinner? Most ants catch and eat other insects. Some ants eat dead animals. Leafcutter ants grow their own food. They have fungus gardens inside their nests. Many ants take care of aphids. Aphids are small insects. They make sugary poop that ants like to eat. Yummy. All right, so here's a joke. What did one leafcutter ant say to the other leafcutter ant? There is a fungus among us. Yep, here are some army ants. Oh, there's a picture of one up close. Army ants hunt for food every day. The colony looks like a moving, munching carpet. Army ants sting and bite everything in their path. They can kill insects, spiders, lizards, and baby birds. It says an army ant colony can be as wide as a street, and it can be as long or longer than a football field. Army ants are not the only ants that sting and eat animals. Fire ants have poison that they inject into other insects, animals, and even people. It leaves a burning feeling. This is how fire ants got their name. There are more than 280 different kinds of fire ants. Hooray for ants! Ants are an important part of our world. They are food for other animals. Birds, frogs, and spiders eat ants. So do monkeys and aardvarks. As ants dig tunnels, they mix the dirt. Plants grow better in the dirt with ants. Right here it tells us that leafcutter ants dig up a lot of dirt when they build a nest. Scientists weighed the dirt one colony dug up, and the dirt weighed as much as 6 elephants. And there were a few words they wanted us to know right here. Colony, which was a group of ants that lived together. Fungus, which is a living thing that is not a plant or an animal. Larvae, which is the second stage in the life of many insects, and the pupae, which is the third stage in the life of many insects. All right, friends, I hope you learned something interesting about ants today. I know that I did.